the autumn trees blowing, we wander side by side with the spark in our eyes and the world that feels so wide. Will we find our way through seasons?
Welcome to the National Gamekeepers Organisation's newscast for the month of August, brought to you this month by Pinewood Clothing. This month we're going to be looking at new rules put in place by the APHA with regards to avian influenza and biosecurity measures that you must undertake. We're going to be reporting from some shows, looking at the effects that hunt saboteurs can have and the help the NGO can give you with regards to driven shooting, as well as all the other interesting things the NGO have been at over this last month.
The start of the grouse season is heralded by the 12th of August, and this year in Lancashire there was a small walked up grouse shoot going on that was attacked by saboteurs. 30 saboteurs turned up from all over the country, so not a great turnout for them. The police turned up as well from Lancashire and North Yorkshire, who did a great job in dispersing the saboteurs. We advise everybody, if you are a gamekeeper, if you're part of a shoot or you are a shoot captain, to go onto our website and download this advice. It's been put together with legal advice and it gives you all the information you need to keep yourself, your staff, your gamekeepers, anybody that's pickers up, beaters, anybody that's on the shoot, how to keep them safe, how to tell them to behave, and how to conduct yourselves in the case of an attack. It gives you all the legal in and outs of what people can do and can't do on your land. So it's a really useful 13-page document. If you can download it off the website, go onto the membership area, download it, and then you can send it out to everybody that's all involved in your shoot day, and that will make sure everyone is on the same hymn sheet. They understand on what they can do, what they can't do, and what they shouldn't do. And hopefully that will make things a lot safer for you and everybody to enjoy the day. So go onto the website, members area, download it. Thank you.
The APHA have in August warned game bird keepers and those releasing game birds for shooting to be extra vigilant with the continuing outbreak of avian influenza across the United Kingdom. There is an avian influenza protection zone, which is called an APIZ, across the whole of the UK, and in England some rules have recently changed, which pheasant keepers, partridge keepers and others releasing and involved in game management need to be aware of. The main changes for game bird keepers include: we must now disinfect any vehicle upon entry to the site and any vehicle being used on a site daily and keep it clean. The APHA suggests that there's one feeding station per 60 released game birds, which means one hopper per 60 birds in the release pen. You'll need to clean and disinfect your water systems weekly and clean your water and feeders daily. Pheasants in release pens should not be fed within 50 metres of a water body that is frequented by ducks and waterfowl. Placed game birds in release pens should not be fed within 500 metres of any poultry or any other kept birds. You need to check your birds in your release pens for signs of avian influenza and conduct a daily search around the area of up to 50 metres around the pheasant pen or partridge pen to search for dead carcasses of game birds or other dead wild birds. And if you find any, that needs to be reported through the Dead Bird Wild Reporting tool, the DEFRA tool that's available on their website. Also, really importantly, record keeping must be kept. Detailed record keeping of mortalities, visitors, their contact details and their onward journey, as well as deliveries and collections of such things like feedstuffs. These need to be a written record that can be checked. More information is available on the NGO website or on the DEFRA website, but visit www.nationalgamekeepers.org.uk.
Hello, it's Livia Brynan from the National Gamekeepers Firearms team. Today on my travels, I'm here in Thames Valley Police and we're here for the stakeholders meeting. And we've been hearing from Lisa, who is the
Public Safety Manager.
And she's been talking to us about reporting any conditions that you have. And I'm going to let her give you one example of how excellently they've dealt with one particular gentleman. And I think it's really heartwarming the way they've dealt with him and the family.
Yeah, we had an 81-year-old 20-year-old licence holder, firearms certificate holder. In 2022, he had the beginnings of Alzheimer's. He was very open and transparent with us, as was his GP and consultant, and we agreed that he could continue shooting and that we would get regular updates from himself and his medical practitioners. Fast forward to 2025 when he submitted a renewal, and there had been concerns raised by his family about him becoming more forgetful, and they had agreed that he would no longer drive and that also they would get rid of most of his guns, but he was very keen to keep one firearm that he could use at his shooting club. Fortunately, his friend, who's a licence holder, also shoots with him, and they agreed between them that the friend would have the gun as remote storage, and on that basis we agreed to renew his licence with the one gun held by him, remotely stored by his friend, who fortunately for him takes him to the club in his car, takes the gun with him, they both go to the club and enjoy their shooting, and then he is returned by his friend to his home, and the friend takes the guns back to his home address. It enabled him to continue a hobby he loves. It's really good for his mental health, and because he and the family engaged with us, were very open and transparent, we felt able to make that decision and mitigate any risk that might have otherwise happened.
Thank you. That just shows a really humane approach to this, and that you look at each individual case and you're able to work with people. And we thank you for that, because you've highlighted that it was important for him, his community, getting out, seeing people, and his mental health.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of work going in that Thames Valley have spoken to us today about mental health and how positively you're looking at it.
Yeah, and the more people can engage with us and speak to us directly, we won't revoke if there's a way that we can avoid it, as long as we can mitigate any risk.
Brilliant. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Today we're on Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, where the NGO have facilitated the BBC to come and talk to Shoot Captain, Gamekeeper and a member of staff from BASC about Natural England's appalling decision to not licence the release of game birds on certain protected sites, SPAs and SACs. The idea is to get it out into more of a public domain to show the abject failure of government agencies when it comes to protecting Britain's wildlife.
Hello, I'm Olivia Bryden, the Firearms Advisor for the National Gamekeepers Organisation, and I'm here tonight having come down to Kent for a firearms meeting with Gary Woodward, the Chief Inspector for Kent. Just going to get him to explain the purpose of tonight's meeting to you.
Absolutely. So tonight was our Firearms Licensing Advisory Group meeting. We have 2-3 of these every year, and we invite members of the shooting community, whether they are like Olivia or Basque or firearms dealers or just shotgun or firearms certificate holders, to come in and we can have some conversations around what we do, how we do it. You can hold us to account and we can explain to you why we do certain things, so we can have that sort of joint understanding and you can go back to your community and explain that for us.
The timescales, could you just explain why it takes so long for a suitability review?
Yeah, certainly. So when we I suppose the first thing to say is to myth bust a little bit. We don't want to take people's guns away. You know, we have storage issues within every police force in this country. The last thing we want to do is revoke somebody's guns unless we have to. So when we do take somebody's guns, it's a really important step to take, because it is people's pride and joy. They need it for sometimes their business, their hobby, or whatever. But we need to take steps sometimes to safeguard themselves or the public. And then we will go away and do a suitability review. And that is done in several stages. So that's the first point. Sometimes it'll run in conjunction with a criminal case, and we have to let the criminal case run most of the time before we can do anything about it. So we're at the kind of mercy of the courts and how quickly they can run through. But even when that doesn't happen, you've got a firearms inquiry officer or investigating officer who has to do a very in-depth inquiry looking into the background of the people involved, what's happened in those circumstances, what's happened in the past, what's happened with their family, all those kinds of things. Then it will go to a supervisor who will go through the same thing. It's kind of a safeguarding catch-all for us, then a manager to look through that, and eventually it will come through to somebody like myself to make the ultimate decision as to whether we take guns away or give them back. And it is a long, long process that can take many, many months.
Can you explain to me the reasons for getting renewals in early?
I certainly can. So, firearms licensing across the country is cyclical. We run in a 5-year cycle. And we pretty much know at what points our highest amounts of demand are going to be. So if you look in Kent, we have approximately 24,000 certificates across Kent. So a huge amount of guns and licenses and licensees and people who are desperate to get their guns renewed. We know that over the next few years is going to be our real peak period. So 2025, probably from September onwards, 26 and 27 are going to be our peak periods. It's probably not going to be different anywhere else in the country. So pretty much the entire country are going to go over the next 3 years worth of high demand. When you apply for your certificate, there's bits that need to be done. We need to get your doctor's certificate, we need to run our checks on you, all those sorts of things, they all take time. If we've got 10 people to run through, that's one thing. We've got 100 people, that's another thing. We're now doing thousands and thousands and thousands, and we have limited staff. So the earlier people get their certificates, their applications in or their renewals in, the quicker we can process it and just manage that demand.
Okay, and your ideal time limit or time to receive somebody's renewal would be?
I mean, I think we send a letter out 6 weeks before, but we are certainly in Kent. We'd be happy to receive it 6 months before.
Yep.
You know, 6 months before our FIOs are saying to certificate holders, get your doctor's certificate now, apply for it now, because obviously we all know that GPs are really, really busy people as well. Get that application in, and once you've got it through, then let's work with your FIO, your FEO to get your renewal in. The quicker, the better, and we can just try and manage our demand as we go through.
And obviously for our Gamekeeper members or anyone using guns professionally, do you prioritise them?
Yeah, so certainly our FIOs and FEOs obviously work on a one-to-one basis with the people within their area of responsibility. It is important to us that those that use guns professionally need it. So yes, it does get prioritised. They do move up the queue, certainly in Kent. I can't speak for everybody, but it's definitely a factor we would look at just to try and make sure that those that are using it for their livelihood are protected.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. And thank you so much for the meeting. And I think I'll see you in about 3 months' time.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Here we are this weekend at the Wiltshire Game and Country Fair, the stand being manned by volunteers. It's great to see everyone here chipping in at busy time when you've all got pheasants. So it's been a great show. We've enjoyed meeting people, we've enjoyed seeing people, and we're looking forward to the next one. Thank you for watching the NGO news show for the month of August, brought to you this month by Pinewood. Remember, you can like and subscribe to our channel where you'll get all the up-to-date information. And also, it's easy to become a member of the NGO, which is open to all shooters, not just gamekeepers. And our address for the website is www.nationalgamekeepers.org.uk. It's just £55 per year to get all the covering and support and benefits for shooters and you in general.